You guys got to really believe in this, because basically what you're going to do is you're going to make it a cornerstone of your business, and if it f***s up, you're f***ed.
Yeah.
You understand that? You'll be super f***ed.
Yeah.
So you need to really make sure you believe in that. Try to charge something that's high ticket, try to do something that's zero fulfillment, and try to do something that's recurring. Oh, I can't go in, it's too much work. You guys are acting like you're like doing $1 million a month, but you're not.
I'm Whitney Prude, and this is my husband, Ty Prude. Currently, I'm a clinical pharmacist. I work at Mayo Clinic. Okay. I'm also a health and wellness coach and created this business, Whole and Happy Living, but it was not in my plan at all. I was basically laying in my bed or sitting on the couch, and I started putting a program together, essentially a program that would take people through to help people to accomplish what I accomplished in 7 years in a matter of 4 months. So, and it's a whole health. So we do mental and emotional in the beginning. We help people lose weight throughout the program and then do it in a way that they can maintain it long term. So that's my why. It's why, it's essentially why I started doing what I'm doing. So this last month, October, it was just like skyrocket, and we're trying to shift. Like, we're throwing him onto like setting calls. He's just kind of taken over with our messaging and all that sort of stuff. And now we're like deer in the headlights of like, what now? What do we do now? So it's like coming into this session, the two things that we've kind of thought about that we want to gain the most is, number one, where are the holes in our business? And number two is, what's the roadmap? Have our business in a place where we can actually scale? Like, what's next? Who are we hiring? How are we scaling our ads? We don't know how to do this. And so that's what we're hoping for.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
We'll do another for you too. All right, cool.
So businesses, health and wellness. I'm a health and wellness coach. I'm also a pharmacist. We do, I call it a whole health transformation program, mental and emotional wellness. 4-month-long program. We charge $3,000 for one-on-one. We've recently started a group program just because there's a lot of people right now that the extra cash that they used to have, they don't have anymore.
Okay.
So now we're doing a small group program, and we charge $1,500 for that.
Okay. All right, so what's your revenue right now, and what do you guys want to get to?
We just massively scaled in October.
Okay.
So October
That's fine.
we
Use
got
that
up to $34,000.
Okay. Collected or revenue?
Revenue.
Okay, and then what's collected?
10,300.
Okay, so 10.3. Okay. And then what do you guys want to get to?
We'd love to get to 100K.
100. Okay.
That would be our first goal.
Okay. And let's say you guys collect at least 50 of that or something. Okay. What's the bottlenecks?
Time.
Time?
Just like our time,
okay.
Right? And so the first bottleneck was ads, and we have someone who's finally gotten us to a point where it's like beginning of end of September, they're like, okay, you've got a 4 to 5 times ROI on this ad, we're scaling it 20% every day to where we're paying $300 a day in ads.
Okay.
And so then we're like, crap, we started shifting stuff around, how do we fit these people on our calendar, and so we finally figured out how to we could maintain this 30K-ish a month. We figured out how to maintain that.
Okay.
But now he works full time. I still work part time.
Okay, so walk me through that. Do you guys want to do this full time? Do you not? What's the goal?
So the goal is to get to that 100K, and both of us just work in the business and quit our jobs.
Okay, so if you guys are both so you're full time, so how much time do you have a day to work on the business?
I work.
Realistically, don't give me a BS number.
No, realistically, I work in the business 16 hours a day.
16?
No. Oh, well, he helps with messaging even when he's working full time.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so because what I'm trying to figure out how much you guys can do. So when you say if you can do 16 hours a day, is that realistic?
I can do messaging 16 hours a day. I can dedicate full time to the business 8 hours a day.
Okay, so say 8. Okay, so that's a full-time job already. And then what about you?
I do part-time as a pharmacist, and then everything else is in the business, and I work basically from 10 a.m. to 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing 10, 12 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have kids or anything?
No.
Okay, no kids, just you guys. Anyone else on your team?
Yeah, so we've got a messenger. She's working 32 hours a week.
Okay.
I have a personal trainer who customizes workout plans.
Coach. Okay.
Training a messenger.
We're training, a messenger.
Another one?
Another one.
Okay.
We've brought AI into our business, so we actually have AI that does probably 75% of the messaging in the beginning. All of the first
Like cold outreach?
Nope. So they come in from ads, and we have AI that comes in and asks them questions like their goal, their struggle, what have you tried? You know, it's like you're probably talking to me because this isn't working. Have you worked with a coach before? And then this is what we do.
Okay.
Yep.
What is that? What's the AI? What is it?
It's through, they call it Charlie, but it's through Setters by AI. Or Setters Systems by Design. They have like a million different names.
So what is it? I'm sorry?
Setters.ai probably is.
Okay, yeah. Setters.ai, and then what does that cost you guys?
$1,500 a month right now.
Okay, and then what does this person cost?
Well, we're gonna pay them $15 a month. They're kind of filling in. $15 an hour.
Okay.
The messenger, $15 an hour, and she works 32 hours a week, so it's about $2,000. The coach, 15 clients, then you basically 15 clients times $6,250.
Okay, so it's like $937.50. Okay. All right, and then what do you guys do? Like, what do you spend your time doing?
All setting calls right now and messaging.
So you're doing setting calls. Setting calls from where? Ads or organic?
Setting calls from
ads.
Okay. And then what else do you do? You message?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll do some setting calls. I'm mostly out of messaging. I do all of our closing calls. So we do a 2-call close.
Okay, so how does your ad work? They click the ad, then what happens?
They click the ad and they go directly into messaging.
Okay, and then what?
And then from there, we send a message that says, hey, here's a link to get more info. And then that, we try to get them to opt in to get phone numbers and emails.
Okay, then what?
And then we ask the first question, which is basically, you know, what's your
goal with your health? Questions down here, but like after the opt-in page, then what, VSL? What's after, what's after this?
VSL. Yep, VSL.
And then a call? Like that?
Yep, if they book directly from there.
Okay. And then you guys are spending $10,000 a month on ads. What's your lead cost?
Between $300 to $500.
Okay, so for every $300 to $500, you're making a sale?
Yep.
Okay, so that's not bad. Okay, then what else? Okay, so your app cost is like $50. All right, so. Okay, app, lead, cost per sale. Okay, so like this doesn't really make sense to me. You guys are paying $1,500 a month for this, but you literally have like 4 other setters. But you guys are doing $34,000 a month. So like, why do we have so many setters? It makes no sense to me. Because you're setting too. So you're telling me you're doing calls and you're messaging, and then you have this guy messaging, and you have a robot. It's like that's 4 setters.
So the top one is on her way out. She's going to be leaving our company. That's
the one messenger.
Yeah, the messenger. That's
and
why
then the bottom
training.
one's going to come in.
Yeah, that's why we're training the additional person right now. That's just happened in the last.
Okay.
So technically, we have one messenger that's working 32 hours a week. This bottom person is like barely starting in on training.
I guess my question is like, why, like what made you guys want to go out and like get this, for example, versus just have like a human do it?
So the number one reason in my mind of why we did that is because it can respond right away.
Okay.
So we were at a point where for 32 hours, we had a messenger. When that messenger wasn't on, we weren't responding, and we were losing people.
So why not have like just another person work when they don't work? Like
so the thing with AI, so we can scale. So right now, just the incoming messages and conversations, it's taking 75%. It doesn't matter how big we get, it's always going to take 75%.
Meaning what? When you say, what's the 75%? 75% of what?
Of like the full conversations, of like getting people to a call. So everyone that comes in, it's constantly responding and taking people through conversations very quickly. And so the majority of people, if they start responding, because the AI gets back to them so quickly, we can get someone through an entire conversation and on a call in 5 minutes. We kill the AI right as they get to the end where they're getting ready to book a call, and then we manually book them.
Like versus sending them a link?
Versus sending them a link.
Yep, because nobody's booking on a link.
Well, how do you guys send the link? So when you send the link, what do you say?
Prior to AI, because AI can't necessarily do this, prior to AI, we were doing very much like what you guys taught of like the urgency of like, hey, can you know, this is a live link, it's good for like 30 minutes, can you take a minute to book now? So like trying to give people the urgency of like, make sure you book this call.
And it wasn't working?
I mean, it kind of, but I mean, our success rate with actually booking people manually is significantly higher.
Meaning you're like, when do you want to take a call? It's a Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yeah. It's like, when
Or
are you available this evening? Are you available tomorrow?
Or do you have 15 minutes right now? We can just hop on a call and get through. But I will also say these are probably better leads than we were trying with just.
When did you guys start using this?
Middle of August.
August,
Probably.
September,
Got it
October.
really set up so for September.
So like you had to do a bunch of stuff to get it to work?
Well, I mean, it's customized to us. So we put in our own script and yeah, you have to kind of, it took us a little while because at first they're like, oh, we have this proven script, whatever you can use. And we're like, no, this doesn't work for us. So we had them put in our script.
Because like what I'm trying to understand is like, I just want to make sure I give you guys good advice.
Yep.
You guys are creating way more work. The only reason you do a 2-call close is you're trying to vet more. But the whole point of an application is it beats the vetting. So like if I have someone come here and they book a call and it's not good, okay, then what I do is I go here and then I follow up with the messenger. That's the point. The issue I'm worried with you guys is you guys are only collecting 10K and you're messaging constantly and you have 1 million calls. So if you guys are trying to get, let's say you want to get to 100K, you have to 10x what you're doing right now. Do you guys think you could take 10 times more set calls?
No, not just with us. We'd have to have.
I mean, probably not. You guys would have to have how many setters?
Yeah.
Probably like 6?
I would say at least 5.
5? I mean, the coach is fine, whatever. That's not a lot of money. The setter part's fine. The concern I have is you guys are running a 2-call close. You're only to hit this number, how many calls did you have to close? I guess like, I can do the math. I mean, you basically you spent 10 grand, so you had 20 clients?
Yeah.
And how many sales calls did you have to take to hit 10K?
So actual scheduled setting calls, there was 177. We completed 94 of those. We sold 15.
Man, dude, that's a lot of set calls. Like, I'm trying to understand why we need 177 set calls. Like, why?
So would it make more sense in your mind to, at the end of the application, go to a video and then still have a closing call after that?
Well, this should be the 60-minute video, is it not?
No.
No, it's
Why? What's the difference?
That one's like a VSL, like 8-10 minute.
So what's the 60-minute one?
The 60-minute one is like, it goes into, so it talks about like me and like my qualifications, people that I've worked with, like Mayo Clinic physicians, that type of a thing. And then it goes into, it's more like psychology based. Like people will get on my calls and they're like,
but like, why are they willing to watch it? Like, well, I don't get it. They come through, you message them, you do a set
they're willing
call.
to watch it because of the conversation that we have on the phone call. If people are not on a setting call with us, they don't watch a 60-minute video.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, well, because I'm just thinking of scalability.
Yeah.
So basically, like you guys, like what were you guys doing before that wasn't working? You guys were doing a 1-call close and then you switched to a 2-call and then you started using this and so now everything seems to be working better? Is that what I'm understanding?
Honestly, it's just our ads. we needed a good ad that brought in quality.
So what's the
leads.
difference with the ads then, in your opinion? So you say a good ad, like what does that mean? You got more leads at a cheaper cost? You got like what?
No, leads that actually have money in that we
got more
close at
willingness.
a high ticket price.
So what made that difference?
Just targeting.
Targeting?
The actual ad and also the targeting. So we have a direct offer now instead of like giving away a freebie. Instead of getting like tons of people that are like, this is free, this is free, this is free. It's a short video of me saying it's like a Five Guys ad.
Okay, and then you have someone managing the ads?
Yep.
What's that cost?
$1,000 a month.
Okay, so super cheap. Okay. The reason I like messaging is because if you give them an application, so they come here, they message, you send them a link to book. When you send someone a link to book, like they should fill out an application. If you guys are saying, hey, they're not doing it or they're not a good look, I mean, this is like, that's probably where the drop off is anyways. You guys are having a massive drop off. I mean, you had less than I mean, that's like 5% are getting through. So it's not like you guys are getting this massive amount of like upside from the set calls. To me, if they come here, right, they can book a call from here or they can book a call from here. So typically what the process is if they book the call and the application is not good, then the call is canceled or you follow up with Messenger. Hey, I saw your application, had a couple issues with it,
Right.
Which would kind of fix that issue. Right now, if you guys are collecting 10K and you guys want to like 10X the business, I mean, you guys literally would have to take 1,700 set calls. So, and you're maxed out, right?
Yeah.
So how many set calls do you think someone could take in a month? Like, is it 15 minutes?
Yeah.
So probably, let's say they're,
Essentially, we could schedule
what, 3 an hour?
Yeah.
probably.
If that, it's like 20 minutes, let's say 3 an hour, and they're doing 8 hours a day. So that's what, 24 a day, and then 5 days a week. So you're looking at about 125 a week, 500 a week. So you guys would need at least, to do that, you guys would need at least 3 more setters. You guys could do that if you want. Like what most people do is they run ad to Messenger, they'll ask questions. When they opt in, a setter calls those leads.
Yep.
Right, so instead of you like pushing to a set call, you're trying to push it to the call in Messenger, and then the setter can call people and also try to like pick up any scraps, right?
Yep.
And I can look at you guys' funnel and it's up to you, but like more than likely all that happened is like here when they book the call, you guys don't have a good application, then you're letting everyone through. So you're busy because you're just letting all the shit on the calendar. You guys can keep going down this path, but if you want to take 10K and you want to get to 100K, you're gonna have to 10X this. So I just want to make sure if that's the path you guys want to go, you're gonna need 4 setters. So if you're cool with that, that's fine, but that's what you guys are about to set up for yourself.
Yeah.
This also doesn't impress, I mean, I can look at it, but like pushing to a set call is not hard. That's not like hard. So like pushing to a sales call to me is a little more expertise than a set call. So, you know, like I'm not trying to change what you're doing, but I just want you guys to understand, you have 1 of 2 options. Either you have maybe like you could get to 100K probably with like 2 messengers, maybe 3. And the only reason you would need multiple messengers is you would just need people to fill the gaps, right? Because like they can't work all the time. So like if I had a messenger, I'd be like, hey, you work 8 to 2. This messenger works like 2 to 8. And then you might have a messenger that's like 8 to like midnight. Then you just like wait till the morning or something, right? What type of ad are you guys running? Is it a DM?
It's a direct offer to DM.
Do you have access to your ad account?
Yes.
Let me see the ad account real quick.
Okay.
So that's your messages. So
Okay.
find out, give me the total amount there.
Just like the average?
Well, no, I need to know the total for the month. So you spent 10K on ads. How many messages did you get for the month? And usually what I was saying is if you just drag it across, it usually should give you a total. Okay, so 2391, okay. And then give me the exact number you spent on the ads. Was it 10K? Go back to the ad manager. Yeah, so then go, so you spent 9,187. So you spent 9,187. You had 2,391 messages. Okay, from there, go back to your sheet, because I just need to make sure I have accurate numbers so I can give you an accurate. Okay, so you had, what is this Charlie responses nonsense? What is this, like?
So this is the, like how many people?
Right, so you have 446 leads, he only responded half the time, like why? I don't understand what that
No,
means.
that's people that are actually responding to Charlie.
To you, so
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so they respond half the time, then half the time they don't?
Yep.
So give me the total apps for the month or the bookings.
184.
Okay, 184, okay. If we do the math, and these are set calls, right?
Yep.
So you had 184 bookings, how many people showed? Thank God you guys have data, my gosh.
The one thing Tanner's gonna ask me for is my numbers.
100%. Okay, so 100 show calls. Okay, so you guys are getting like a little above 50%. Okay, so you have 100 show calls, okay? So you spent 9,187, okay? You had 2,391 messages. So 2391 divided by, I don't need to do that. I used to be an engineer, but people don't believe me anymore because I can't do that. Okay, I genuinely used to be an engineer. $3.84 per lead. Okay, that's extremely cheap. Are you just doing women?
Yes.
Yep, that's usually why. That's good. $49 a booking. Super good, by the way. So it's about 91 bucks for a show, right? Because you guys got about 50% drop off. So for you guys to actually get someone to show up, It's costing you about $100, give or take, and then you had 15 sales, so it's costing you $612. And on average, what did, and this is what you guys collected, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so like let me do, so 10,300 divided by 15, you're collecting about $686 per sale, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Would be.
So here's the part I'm confused about. If you guys spent this much on ads and you collected this much, how is it a good month for you guys? Is it because you have so much recurring revenue? Because you guys basically are you're spending what it's costing you to collect.
We have recurring revenue because the majority of people that we put in are on payment plans.
Okay, so this was what you got front end. How much you guys have in addition to this? Because this isn't all you made, right?
Yeah.
No.
So what did you make in addition to that?
So in October, into my bank account, cash flow, 19,000.
Okay, so you had about 9,000 recurring. Okay, so here's the thing. You guys actually need to be careful because, well, I mean, it depends. If it's costing you, so what's the deal price average? So it's costing you $612 per sale. You're collecting this on average, but what's the deal size? So if this is what you collected per sale, it's about $686. So if you took a call, what that means is you collected on average like $686. What's the deal size? 2K, 3K? What's the average deal size?
2,200.
2,200. So you guys have about, let's say about 4 payments. Okay, so you guys, okay, most of them, and what is it, 4 months? Yeah, okay, so most of them you're getting a 4 pay on average.
Trying.
You're trying, like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
They
some
can't even
people
do that.
pay in full, some people do 4 months,
Okay.
some people are long-term.
Okay, so like this number is really good. That's not gonna improve, that's good. Bookings are really good. The show rate, like you guys have about 50% drop off. So I'm assuming that's mostly from the set calls, right? So you're disqualifying pretty hard. So do you guys know how many set calls you set and how many show from the set call?
Yeah.
Do you have that number? Put this here.
177, and then completed calls is 94.
So 94 set calls.
Actually completed.
Did you take 177 calls or 94?
Took 94.
94.
So you took,
Scheduled 177.
got it. So you took 94, and then out of what I'm curious is like how many sales calls did you set from 94?
36.
No, 36 showed up, right?
Oh, correct.
How many did you actually schedule? Do you guys know how many you scheduled?
Yeah,
You had
no, I know what you're saying.
177, so I just wanna make sure we're on the same page. You had 177 scheduled set calls.
Yeah.
So we'll just put SS. 94 showed up. And then you had 36 sales calls, but it's like, how many did you schedule? So I want to do scheduled sales calls.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so this number actually, I tried to actually get this number last night, but
Okay.
I'm thinking it's not completely accurate because
Okay.
when I looked through, I had scheduled 100 discovery calls, but a lot of I was trying to see if there was like duplicates in there because some people like reschedule and then like they'll be put on as like a
Okay.
duplicate because that doesn't make
So
sense.
let's make our best guess. So when you take a set call, how many? I mean, do you track how many sales calls you schedule? Do you track that?
Is it tracked in there?
Because I
Well,
know
that's what my
this is what
numbers
showed.
are.
I know that's what showed, but I'm trying to see is there any drop off here? So like,
There is.
how many do you think? Do you have any idea? Would you say half?
My best guess would be half.
Okay, so do you think, is it safe to say maybe you scheduled 50 and 15 didn't show up? Is that like, would you agree with that? How many sales calls didn't show up this month, you would say?
Not a lot, honestly.
Like how many per week?
So sales calls of the 100
Mm-hmm.
discovery calls that were scheduled, only 9 of those were no-shows. All of the other ones were they either contacted us and were canceled or we
9 no
rescheduled
shows.
them.
Okay, so what that means is like you basically scheduled 41, only 9 didn't show, you said? So it's like,
Yeah.
so it's probably like this. You scheduled probably 43 and then in between here, 9 of those didn't show. Okay. All right, so if I had this many leads, what you're looking for is you're looking between, you usually want 10%. So if you do 10% of this, that's 239, okay? If you have 5%, you're gonna be like, what, 150 or something like that. So you guys are in the middle, you guys are at 7%. So to be frank with you, it's like, the way I run my company is like, we can get the same amount of bookings straight to a one call without the set call. You guys are getting the same ratios. You're not getting any better ratios. So all that means is it's pick your poison. The way you guys are building the business, you have 2 options. You guys can either run straight through Messenger with a better application and you're gonna have more fall off, but look, you're already having fall off. Like you guys are getting 7% leads to bookings, and this is Messenger, not opt-ins. We're not even talking about opt-ins. So based on what's happening right now, my guess, based on running my companies, is like we get even better than that, and we just run everything through Messenger. So there's trade-offs though. The trade-off is, it just depends on what you guys want to do, because you got one of two scenarios. I was doing 150,000 a month in my fitness company, and I had like 3 messengers, and they just rotated shifts. And all we did was message, we didn't do any set calls. If you guys are trying to do this, you're gonna have to do a bunch of set calls, but it's like, it's up to you. If you guys wanna train a team on that and do that, that's fine, but you have to start looking at like, what are you gonna have to pay? You know, like if you're paying a setter $15 an hour and they're just qualifying, it's, I guess like what I'm saying is like, if this is working for you, I probably wouldn't change it unless you guys prefer not to build a setting team and you'd rather build a messaging team. Or if you really think like this can scale you guys. You know, you're at 10K a month, I don't know. Like what happens when you start getting more volume is like this. You guys are running Facebook ads right now, you're hitting the best pocket because you're not spending a lot. What's gonna happen is as you spend more, it has to start hitting other pockets of people, and so usually ads don't work as well. And so here's my recommendation typically, I don't change what's working. So this is working for you guys. If you were gonna change it, what I would recommend you do is you take a very small budget, or you take like a new funnel and you split test it. And you basically would make, so like for example, this is your funnel right now. You guys are ad, messenger, opt-in, VSL, call, okay? And then you might have a different funnel where you basically here you guys are pushing to a set call, and then you would dupe the funnel, or you would change out the type form or whatever you guys push to. What do you guys push to? Is it type form? What's your calendar that they book on? Is it Calendly type form?
Oh, it's through like Elite 360.
Okay, Elite 360. Perfect. Here's the reality is like you guys are getting a decent booking ratio. The thing with set calls though is just you're gonna have to have a team of like 5 people if you want to hit that number. For sure, that are taking calls like 3 calls per hour, 8 hours a day. If you guys go this route that we usually teach, you're just doing Messenger and then you're using the application to filter more, right? And then what happens is if they don't answer, you go through and you do that. You guys are like, yeah, we're getting a lot better, like we're getting more people to respond and stuff like that, but it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, you're getting more people to respond, but your drop off is the same. Do you understand?
Yeah, and I was looking last night, it's like my closing percentage is the same.
Exactly. So the issue in my opinion that we really have to fix is we have to lower this CAC. So we're gonna talk about that in a second. And then you guys have to decide what you wanna do. So to me, based on what I've seen, the only reason that I would be predisposed to have you guys test this is because if you guys genuinely feel this is a solution for you, like you genuinely do, I can look at it and help you decide. But if you guys, it sounds like you guys like it. So if you guys like it and you genuinely feel that's a solution, then to me, it's more scalable to just do Messenger because this will handle the heavy lifting and then you just have setters go in and follow. Like that to me is a lot easier than building a team of like 800 setters and then making sure they show up and like that's just like what I'm thinking, okay? But the only way you guys would be able to know is you'd have to have the exact same funnel and you'd have to split test it and you'd have to check the numbers. And the way you would have to do that is you would just have to have like a different link, you know, or what you guys could do is like, you could turn this off and test this. Like you could have a month, you do 2 weeks of this, 2 weeks of that, and you try to decide. What I wanna make sure I'm clear is like what you guys are doing here is not bad. So if you guys like this and you wanna scale it, it's fine. But you guys need to decide right now is, to me, the only reason I would have you guys possibly test this is like if this is really what, like you guys really like this, yes? Mm-hmm. So do you see any reason you wouldn't stick with it? Okay, as far as you like it, okay. So if there's no reason that you guys don't want to stick with that, and then to me, that this is more scalable by just pushing to an application, right? Because all the setting he's doing with, like the application is this. That's the point. You're gonna get a lot of drop off, but that's the whole point of the application, right? It's to shield you. The application shields the salesperson from a lot of bad calls. So to me, when you guys are like, oh, well, a lot of people, they don't fill it out and they drop off, it's like, they're dropping off either way. You guys, and he's working his ass off. So to me, I'm like, wouldn't it make more sense if he just went inside Messenger instead of took all these fucking sales calls and just followed up and pushed like that? That's all my head's thinking. Does that make sense to you? Yeah.
So from a scalability standpoint, you've got experience training and managing setters and messengers.
Yeah.
What is there like a pro and con to
The thing with setters typically is it usually takes a little bit more skill because it's sales training, and then it's like you're managing a sales team, and so you got to listen to sales calls and all this other shit. It takes a lot longer. That's the downside. The benefit of like this is like you can go in and see messages very quickly, and you're like, yo, don't say that, don't say this. It's also more flexible. They don't have to like, you know, they're only talking to one person at a time. They can move a lot faster, etc. So I would be predisposed to say, especially with this, like, because you guys are doing it all manually, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But if you guys really think that this is gonna help you that much, then it's like, you guys can increase it 10x, and this doesn't really change much, and then you probably wouldn't need a smaller setter team because this is doing the heavy lifting. But you guys gotta really believe in this, because basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna make it a cornerstone of your business, and if it fucks up, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You understand that? You'll be super
Yeah.
So you need to really make sure you believe in that. If you guys are comfortable with what you're doing right now, stick with it. But then what you need to start doing is you need to start bringing in people to take all these calls for you, so you don't have to do it all day. But then what you're gonna have to do is what? You're gonna have to manage those calls. Okay? So it's kind of like, I guess the way you would decide is like, do you guys prefer managing this? Like setters, or do you want to manage the calls? Because the thing is, if you have 5 dudes, someone's got to manage that. And you're gonna have to track all the numbers. So you're gonna be like, hey, which of our guys is not getting enough of these people to a sales call? When you're doing it, it's fine because there's no management and you know what you're doing, but you guys are gonna build a team. So the only reason I'm a bigger fan of that is that's what I've done, and I feel like it worked better. And what we do instead is here, once they opt in, we call them anyways. So what you guys are doing is you're pushing to a set call. I'm like, yo, let's push them straight to a sales call. If they don't do it, we'll call them anyways on the back end. We're kind of hitting them from both angles. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here's what I'd recommend. I would not recommend changing what's working.
What if we qualified more, like instead of just going through the script, messaging script, and then trying to straight book them on a call, what if we tried to financially qualify everyone at the end of that messaging conversation, and then
But that's what the application's for.
But if they're not clicking the link.
I want to look at you guys' stuff because it's probably something you guys are saying. Like we don't have issues with that, and if they don't do it, we just follow up. We follow up with them. We're like, yo, click the link, because like the way I view it is like they're not going to click the link, they're not going to come to the call, and you guys are getting massive drop off anyways. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like to me, it's easier to message than it is to set.
Yeah.
Like a call. Would you agree?
I certainly see what you're saying.
The hard thing is just like, I know you guys are trying to move, but the hard part is like, if you make the wrong decision, you set yourself farther back than if you just wait. Typically it takes like 3 months because you don't want to make a decision off 30 days. You're like, well, what if the ads did better for this or that? But the only way you guys can really do it is like for the next 3 months, if you wanted, you have 2 separate funnels, right? You'll have 2 different type forms here, or like, how do they book a call? You said a type form, or no, you said Elite 360 form.
Yeah,
so
just like a form.
you'd have a different form on this funnel. So it'd be like funnel 1, funnel 2, and then you're like, hey, from this funnel, we're only gonna push the messenger, and then this funnel, we're only gonna do setting. And then you guys, I don't know how you guys would like handle the workload and stuff, but you do like 150 a day here, 150 a day there, and then you compare the results. And my guess is like if the results are literally the same, which I probably would assume they would be, where I bet you guys will get similar numbers, then you guys are like, okay, well, it's easier to do this or it's easier to do that, and that's what I would do. Because you guys have to start thinking about building your team. Your guy would set up 1 campaign that goes to this funnel and 1 campaign on ads that goes to this funnel so that you can see the messages difference, right? And then you guys would track everything the same, and you just look at the funnel, right? You could see that. Just so you guys know, if you spend $1,000, right, and you get 100 leads, technically you get 10 applications, and then from there you're typically gonna close, like depending 1 to 3. You guys are getting those numbers, like you're basically getting that number anyway. So to me, I'm like, okay, like if that's easier, why wouldn't you want to do that? That's the only reason I'm saying that. And based on what you guys said, you guys are really, you like this a lot. Merry Christmas. So to me, it's like, if that's what you want to build your business around, this is more scalable. You guys already said that. Right. So it's like, why are we trying to build this in instead of push to a 1 call close? Because you have less setters, less overhead, less to manage. That's kind of the point of what they're probably trying to do in this business. Like one of the next business I'm building, I'm kind of doing this, but it's only for trainers. It's only for trainers. So like my database is literally all trainer conversations. There's no other thing. So like basically instead of, anyways, this isn't even here or there, but like what you guys the issue you guys had with this company, it's not an issue, but you have to feed it what you want. I don't want to do that. because then they're trying to make it for everyone. What I want to do is I'm going to feed, like, let's say mine, I'm feeding this only trainer convos. So, you know, I had a multi-million fitness company. So if I feed it 800 million conversations, what do you think is going to happen when I give it to guys like you? Day one, it's just pushing people through like a mother effer. And then my goal is that you don't need anyone. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I think you guys are on a good path. Out of all the conversations I had with like billionaires, the biggest thing that I learned was try to charge something that's high ticket. That's high ticket. Try to do something that's zero fulfillment. That's zero fulfillment technically. And try to do something that's recurring. That hits all the boxes. I've seen people do this. The thing I don't like is like what you said, you have to feed it. And when I think that, I'm like, that to me is too much work because now it's not manual. So probably what happened with you guys, you had an onboarding call, you have a coach. Did you have someone who's like helping you with stuff?
We do.
Et cetera?
But honestly,
now we don't feed it at all.
Right, so that was just in the beginning. So to me, what I'm trying to do is I'm going, okay, I get where they're going with this, but to me, there's a lot of variables because I get a different offer and so like I gotta do all this extra shit. What I'm trying to build, for example, is I'm trying to build this, but only for trainers. So what happens is day one, I'm feeding it all the info it already needs. I don't need you guys to feed it because I'm like, it's only for trainers. So my goal is that like when someone plugs in, it just works. And then if you guys come to me, let's say I'm working with you guys and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna let you guys work for me for free, whatever. If it's not answering the way you want, guess what I do? I take those answers and I go back and we feed it ourselves. You're not feeding it because that's kind of my thought process. So the only downside I would see with something like this is like if it's working, great. But I guess my question is if it's not working, if it's not working as good as you want, what do you have to do to get it to work better? What's the biggest complaint I have from our clients right now? Oh, fucking messaging. I asked people between sales calls and messaging, and they said messaging. And the irony is messaging is easier than a sales call.
Everybody hates messaging.
Everyone hates it, right? So that's what I would do is like split the baby. But you guys have to be very on top, like you guys are, but be very on top of the tracking. You have to be. And then what you're gonna look for this one is this bottom one. So this top one, it's like, hey, we had 177 set calls. All you're gonna look down here is out of the set calls you had, let's say 36 sales calls or whatever, you know, it's gonna be cut in half because of the spend. But all you're gonna look is from messages. So let's say you have like, on this one you have 2,000 messages. How many book calls did you get? You're not gonna have this set call in the middle. So you're gonna have way more drop off.
Got it.
But it doesn't matter. It's like all we're looking at is how many messages got to sales calls on the top funnel where you're setting, and then how many messages here got there from only messaging. It's the same shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you talk from like a financial standpoint, you're
Yes.
essentially saying like your GP should go, you're eliminating a whole drain on your expense.
Well, yeah, because what you guys are gonna eliminate is instead of having, because think about it, if you have five setters, here, if you scale this, how many setters would you need? I mean, based on what you guys are saying, you guys would probably only need like 2.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, and it's like, if they're literally only following up and stuff, it's like, dude, that's like, if my team was only following up, they're starting combos, they're doing all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's also, I would say, a higher level lead. So I think that's the other thing is like, they might not be as prone to getting DMs, so they're like a little bit more aptitude for it. But yeah, so the other thing is that would completely free you up. And then what you could do is you could just manage this and you don't have to do this all day, which would be easier.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so that's good here. The other thing is like, you're not able to scale this. So if you do have to stick with this, then you need to start hiring setters to replace you because you're out of time. And then you'd have to, and then what you would do is you have to manage them and then get them up to speed. And then as you do that, you get time back and then you guys could scale. And then you would start turning into a manager for this. You would keep doing the sales calls till you couldn't take anymore. And then once you can't take anymore, you bring in a closer. So the path from like where you guys are at now to 100K is just a couple more team members and more ad spend. That's it. There's nothing else. Okay.
So tell me this. Talk coaching for a second, because yes, I'm doing all the closing calls. I'm also doing all the coaching.
Yeah, you got to get out of the coaching.
So that's.
But I thought you said you just had a coach here that you paid. So what does he do?
No. That's a personal trainer. They meet with people once.
Okay, so
in the whole program. So what I do in terms of coaching, we do two one-on-one calls a month.
Okay.
And then we check in weekly just through messaging.
Okay.
And so
You gotta get out of coaching though. There's like, it doesn't even matter what you do. You have to get out. You can't coach. The coaching is the least important part. Like
that's what. So where I'm
not the least important
right now, essentially. And
yeah, it's just like even me doing this. I do this bi-weekly, and it's like this also has a double benefit. There's content, etc. Like I can't coach people because it's too long. Like imagine if I did this, I can't. It's too time consuming.
Right.
So you need to get out of coaching. So in order, here's what you guys need to do. First thing is the funnel. Don't change anything until you get the funnel down. Once you get the funnel down, you need to get a coach. okay? Like you can't scale, all you should be doing is sales calls. Sales calls, sales calls, sales calls, sales calls, and then you guys are messaging and doing sales calls, that's it. Someone manages the coach, but you need to get out of fulfillment. You can't do any fulfillment, it takes too much time. Okay. Like if you're doing a call for an hour, it's like, that's a sales call you could have taken. You need to get out of it, it's more important. Like it is. Then the third thing is then you scale ads. Okay, now the thing I want to talk to you guys about is like, you guys are gonna run into an issue if you keep getting a $600 CAC. You can't, your price point's not high enough. So what that probably tells me is there's a sales issue. Okay, it might be like how you're handling objections. So I want to walk through this real quick. Price objection is the one you're getting. Have you guys seen any, are you guys in the program right now or you've been in the past?
We're at next level.
You're next level,
right
okay. Have you seen any of my sales trainings recently?
Yeah.
You did? Did you see the one yesterday?
Not yesterday.
Okay, I want you to watch it. So here's the thing with the price. I want to make sure I'm walking, and I might be wrong, but I want to make sure, because like the issue is you're collecting 600, but guess what you're getting here? You're collecting 600, but then your cost of acquisition is 600. So like, it's not horrible, you could scale, but the issue is as you scale and your team expenses will go up slightly, you're not gonna have a huge amount, but it's a little dangerous. Like you preferably like to collect 2x, you're collecting 1x. You're like right on the razor, which means if like, it's just not a great place to run the business from. It's not horrible because it's a fitness offer and you're also getting, you guys get 4x collected, but I'd prefer if you had a CAC of like 300 or 350 and then you collected 600 because that's 2x. So I want to walk through this real quick because here's how do you lower the CAC? Probably not, we're not going to probably get any better leads. I'm going to look through your stuff. That's the last thing I want to do, but to get more lower CAC, you just have to get more sales. And so probably what's happening on this is the price thing. So let's walk through it. So typically what I do is I'm like, hey, the price is just 3,000, okay? And then they're like, or you raise the price. The other thing you guys can do is you raise the price, but that probably, if you're having a hard time selling at 3K, you're probably gonna have a hard time selling at higher. I wanna make sure I'm walking you guys through like how to handle these objections. So like close, hey, it's too much. You're like, hey, totally get it. And then you isolate, right? So isolate, is there anything else besides price? And they're like, no, it's just price. So you're like, cool, so you love the program, you wanna do it, you're gonna sign up, it's just price, yeah. It's like, and that's the tie down, right? And they're like, yeah, it's just price. So then you're like, a double tie down, okay, is like, got it, it's just price. Okay, so if we're able to figure out price, say you're down to move forward, yes, okay, then you do cash on hand. So I made a change in the script. I don't think you guys have seen it. I wanna show you guys. So like, yeah, so my cash on hand is whatever, okay? Now, the question I wanna ask you guys is, what is the lowest you're willing to go? And like, I guess the other thing is, I'm assuming when you guys pitch the group price, less people want that because you're taking shit away, correct?
People that don't have money, they want the group.
Really? So you're having no issue with that? Okay, so if you're having no issue with that, that's fine, but what's the lowest amount you're willing to take? So like, if someone's like broke as shit, it's like, the lowest amount I will take monthly is what? What's that number?
Right now it's $100.
$100, okay? So basically everyone can sign up, okay? So my concern is like, if everyone can sign up and you're still closing at 50%, I probably wanna see that number go up because it's like, your close rate should be higher if people can put down a nickel.
Right.
Which is basically what you're doing. So what you do from here is they're like, what's your cash on hand? And they're like, basically it doesn't matter what they say because you're gonna take it anyways. So $100 a month. You're like, great. So what I wanna do, and I want you to watch the video yesterday because I went through this, what I say is I go, I'm cool to customize something. We'll give you guys this recording too. So I'm like, so Whitney, look, I'm cool to customize something for you. But before I do that, I just wanna make sure if I do that, you're able to move forward today. Because the price is $3,000, but if I customize a solution for you, I just wanna make sure that you're able to move forward today. I don't start coming up with solutions until they give me that. Why? Because what I've seen happen on calls, you go, what's your cash on hand? Oh, it's like $100. Oh, cool, so let's do this. And they're like, oh, well, I still need to think about it. And they give you some bullshit answer, right? Like if you figure out the price objection and they give you cash on hand, they don't buy, what is the objection they're usually giving you? Like, are they just like, I need to think about it, or what do they say? Yeah, so they give you that bullshit. So this is how you beat it. So you're gonna go, cool, so look, I'm down to customize a solution for you, but before I do, Whitney, I just wanna make sure that you're able to move forward today. Because like I said, the price of the program is $3,000, but you're not gonna be able to get in for that. So I'm down to customize a financial solution for you, but if I go to that trouble, I wanna make sure you can move forward today. They're either gonna say yes or go, well, I still need to talk to my spouse. Like, okay, cool, so, and then you go to the spouse objection. So I'm gonna walk you through that. Let's say they say they need to talk to the spouse. So cool, so what are you gonna do if your spouse says no? Well, I probably wouldn't do it. I go, okay, and what would their biggest objection be? And they're usually gonna say, well, it'd probably be the price.
Too much, yeah.
Okay, so it's like, so cool. And I just wanna make sure I'm clear. if your spouse is okay with the price, you're probably gonna move forward. You just wanna run it by them, et cetera, yeah? Yes. So I go back to here and I go, cool. So look, like I said, I'm down to customize a solution for you. So what about this? If I come up with a financial plan that makes sense for you, and then you're able to go and talk to your husband and check, I would just ask that you put down a refundable deposit to lock that price in. Cause like I said, I'm gonna go out of my way to help you. I know you wanna talk to your husband, so I don't wanna tell you no, but I'm gonna need you to at least put down a refundable deposit if I come up with a price that makes sense for you. Does that work? Get the fucking commitment before. I closed a couple calls the other day practicing with my sales reps that they all said that and they bought. And they gave me a deposit because like it's hard to beat, right? But it's like if I tell them that I'm gonna customize a solution that they have to put something down on the call, and they're like, well, do I have to do something now? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, and let me explain why, Whitney. I don't wanna force you into this, but the price of the program is typically $3K. So if I'm gonna help you out, I'm just all about making fair deals. And so for me, I want you to move forward today and you want a discount, right? So for us to be in the middle, I just need you to put down a small amount. You can still go check with your husband and do all that, but I need you to at least put something down today. And like, I'm closing all of them. Because what I realize is that when you do cash on hand and then give a solution, before you get them to commit, they're backing out. So I want you guys to watch that because probably what will happen is you'll close another X amount, and then your $600 CAC is gonna go down to like 400 or 300, and then you're gonna fix the problem very quickly. Okay. Because that's gonna help you guys scale. Cause like, there's nothing, you can't do anything on the leads. There's nothing wrong with your application. There's not, like, you guys are pretty good. So the only thing I can see to fix is we have to increase your sales, which means it's gonna decrease your CAC. That decreases your CAC, you can spend more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions? Does that make sense?
No, I think it makes sense.
Okay. And then last thing I wanna do is just look at your messages and then we'll wrap up. So do you guys have an application right now though?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see the application. So what is your current age? Okay, keep going. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, this is horrible. That's why, okay. So the reason do you know why this is horrible?
I bet you're gonna tell me.
No, think about it.
No, I don't know.
No, it's okay. Like why, like it's not the questions per se. Why is this bad? It's all multiple choice. You can't tell from multiple choice. You know you'll get a better answer if you say, how much money do you make? And then you put multiple choice and then you leave it open-ended. You know what people will say? Oh, I don't really know. Well, it depends on the week. But if you put multiple choice, they're gonna pick, it's like, think about it. Like, why do you think multiple choice tests are so shitty when they do like, you know, like, I don't know, they do those charts and stuff. Like it's because they can only pick what you've put.
Got it.
So if you make an application, you guys leave it all open-ended, what will happen is the answers you will get will be way more clear, and then you guys can go back and actually qualify. I can almost guarantee you what's happened is you guys are getting these applications, you're like, oh, it looks really good. And then they show up to the call and they're in because you're giving them, you're not learning anything. That's probably my guess.
So this application, this one is where it actually disqualifies them before they can get to the call. So for example.
So I know what you're trying to do. So what you're trying to do is it's like a type form, right? And so the point of like it works like type form. What type form is, it's just an application, and what you're doing, because my company does it too. You're trying to make it so the setters don't have to do as much work. But here's the deal: you guys don't have enough volume to even give a shit right now. Why are you trying to disqualify people when you can manually do it? Like per month, you guys are gonna get, like, let's say you guys get 90 applications. That's like 3 a day. Oh, I can't go in, it's too much work. Do you understand? So the whole point, what you guys are acting like you're like doing $1 million a month, but you're not. So
you let everyone run through this and then you take them as they come.
No. So check it out. So what I'm saying is open your application so it's open-ended. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? So like a paragraph. Okay, so check this out. These are all open-ended. So check this out. What's your IG? Are you 21? What's your current occupation? Are you looking to switch careers? This is open-ended. So they put ASAP. Then look at this. Are you able to invest at least $5,000? What you guys are doing is go yes or no. Look what they put. Unfortunately, I don't make enough at my current job to pay current bills and add on top of that. I'm pretty much living paycheck. So guess what? We don't book them, or we know, but we're getting, like, look at the different info yet. Look at this. Are you able to invest? They put yes. Okay, so that was an open-ended question though. Let me show you more. Yes, okay, great. Let's look at, but some people put weird answers. And so when it's open-ended, it's stronger. So look at this. No. Right, like when they're typing that in and they're not just clicking a button, you know, it's like, yo, they're definitely not a good look. So then what the team does is go, hey, so I saw in the application, you can't invest $5,000. you know, like if you're not able to, like, is there a way we can make it work or not? And then they cancel the call so you don't waste your time. That's what I think is happening is you guys are doing multiple choice. So like, look at this. Possibly. Do you think possibly, what do you think go follow up, dude? Like they'll follow up. And the reason we leave it open-ended is we get better answers. So look at this. Yes. Now some people just answer yes or no, but some people will give us kind of a BS answer. And so we go follow up. Look at this, soon. What the fuck does that mean? How quickly are you able to look? Soon. That's not multiple choice, that's open-ended. We leave it open-ended on purpose. Okay. That's pretty much it. I mean.
So one last question, in this app, with our 3K and 1,500 options, like what do we put in as that question of like?
So like, I'd probably do this, like for us, so this offer, we get a lot of shit, just like you guys do. So like what we added in was this. Are you able to invest at least $5,000 over the next 6 months with at least 20% down? If we provide training, arrange guaranteed interviews, and provide, like we basically are very direct. So what you could do is you're like, are you able to invest at least $100 a month or not? And if they say no, you're like, buy. I mean, that's what you could do, because like, it just depends how severe you want to make it. Remember, the more severe, less people come through. The less severe, more people come through. So to me, based on what you guys have said, you guys want less people to come through. So instead of calling everyone and having 177 calls a month, why don't you just make the application more stringent? And you're like, oh, they fell off. Like they're falling off anyways. Yeah. So you guys are looking from lead to application about 5 to 10%. 10% is way better, obviously. 5%, if it's less than 5%, you won't survive. You guys are at 7.5. So if you do this and it's better or the same, to me, the setter makes more option, especially with what I just saw with the AI stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. It definitely, you know, what we expected. I expected Tanner to ask me for all of my numbers, so I came as prepared as, you know, as I could. But just like putting the numbers on the board, finding the holes. I mean, I said the two things, let's find the holes and give us a roadmap for scaling, right? And I think that we're leaving knowing exactly what we need to do next over the next 3 months, and then how we would scale this once we solidify what system we're actually going to use. So 100% super beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it exceeded all my expectations.
If you're just starting, or if you know, it's like you're not quite to the point of scaling or whatever, hang in there. It took me, like literally, it took a year for us to figure out ads, and it was frustrating and it was discouraging. And you know, it was like, we're investing more money in coaching. When do we start getting this money back? Stick with it, right? It's gonna come. It's just when it comes, right? And it's just working through the process. So if you're just starting, stick with it. And you know, if you're if you're somewhat where we are, bring your numbers, know your numbers, because you know, I'm not as good at tracking things and like knowing all the business stuff. But I knew that Tanner was, and that he would have to have all of that information to actually be able to tell us what we can do. So if you're looking to be in this seat, know your numbers.
Yeah, I would say probably the biggest thing is to come prepared with your data about your program, because Tanner was not just selling us on his way of doing it. He was wanting to give us real valuable feedback on whether we were doing something right or doing something wrong. So without the data that we provided to him, he couldn't have done that. But I respect and really think that it's high value that he didn't say, well, what you're doing doesn't work. Come to, like, I'm showing you the path forward. He said that you have a couple paths forward, but there could be a better path than what we're on.
For Tanner, yeah. I mean, a big, huge thank you, honestly. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I was when I when I got picked for this. Ty was actually the one, he's like, I'm applying for this, make a video. And I'm like, fine. And then I deleted it. And he's like, I'm applying for this, where's the video? And I'm like, I deleted it. He's like, make another one. But seriously, an incredible opportunity. We're really, really grateful. So we appreciate his time. We appreciate your time and the generosity of bringing us in. So
yeah, thank you. Awesome.